Welcome back to the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. I'm Inquisitor Temperance Price, keeper of the Inquisition's Black Library, and this is the third volume in a report on the Valentyne Heresy, an actual play podcast set in the Genesis adaptation of Warhammer 40,000's Dark Heresy RPG. This report features Game Master Tom McGee and players Ryan LaPlante as Inquisitor Lucius Valentyne, Tyler Hewitt as Attikus Viz, Laura Hamstra as Eli Sharp, and Della Borovic as Morgan Rawls. My report shows that the Inquisitorial party has escaped the dream of flight. Valentyne and Morgan led the charge across the flight deck. Attikus and Eli followed up by clearing a second path through the horde. And the Inquisitorial band is now facing off with Cainhurst and a group of his Tyranid mind slaves. Can they defeat him before he turns them into more biomass? Find out next in this episode of the Valentyne Heresy.
From the design drawings of Mercy for the Pure. You'll note that I've dedicated a significant amount of space in the central area of the ship to the Sanctuary Gardens. This is a relatively new concept I'm pioneering on some of these builds to replace some of the excess beds with a space where patients can actually recover and enjoy some works of art and some of the beauty of the human spirit. After all, out here in the cold depths of space, it's nice to be surrounded by a little bit of beauty to remind you that it's not all grim darkness out there, isn't it? A note in the margin. This is expensive and I hate it. We'll do it once, no more. What used to be Inquisitor Cainhurst towers before you. His body, a mix of what's, if we're doing a kit bash of some sort, if we were kind of using our models, clearly some Carnifex in there, but also wings. And it does kind of feel like he's soldered together a bunch of exoskeletons and then stretched whatever flesh he could find over them. So you've got kind of just a massive beast standing atop the crushed statue at the center of the Sanctuary Gardens, all sense of beauty and tranquility lost amidst the scythe blades for arms, the variety of humanoid arms that are reaching and grasping, and of course the stretched face of the former Inquisitor, which is pulled into some semblance of a grin. The space is slowly filling with little Tyranids, whose names I don't want to try and pronounce again because I'm just going to fuck it up. I just need like a soundboard. So you got Gaunts coming in.
Termagant.
Hormagant.
Yeah, you got Gaunts and Gants for days.
Perfect.
And they're all kind of like filing in. I think the way we're going to play them roughly is that they will likely be adding difficulty to rolls and will have a risk of hurting you if you get threat and failure. There's just too many realistically to run in this battle sequence. Plus, they're not particularly nimble because they're not proper Gants and Gaunts. They're weird hybrid monsters. So they're a little more gangly, a little more Dead Spacey in terms of that kind of necromorph awkward gait. And as a result, if they got anywhere near what's going to happen now, they would probably just get flattened by their hive mind Inquisitor pal. But you can certainly see them; they're certainly around. So please do imagine a lot of like G.I. Joe crossfire as we come into this. So I was going to call it a coterie. The retinue has to take Cainhurst down. Your ship is incoming. Marnie's song, however, it is fully arriving as a horrible taxi for this blasphemy, this living heresy to spread throughout the galaxy. It's a classic fight the thing while you wait for the thing to show up scenario. So I'm going to need initiative from all of you. You're aware you're going into battle, so this is just a straight cool check from all of you, please.
I know one of the other stats that can be used is vigilance. Would you allow that, or does this have to be cool?
No, unfortunately, this one's got to be cool because you're not being like surprised by like, oh shit, combat's here. It's like I have stepped into combat. There's bad news bears for me.
Okay, I'm going to use my observant talent to automatically add a success to this.
Hey, look at you go.
Look at me go.
3 advantages for Attikus.
3 advantage.
4 successes for Eli. Jesus Christ.
Nice.
I did not
Eli.
need to use that.
You do not like Tyranids.
No.
1 success, 1 advantage for Valentyne.
Okay.
And then Morgan got 3 successes, 1 advantage.
3 success, 1 advantage. Okay, and for Cainhurst. Ooh, Cainhurst gets a triumph.
Good for him.
Yeah, it's a good day for Cainhurst. Bad day for everybody else.
I mean, realistically, with him being in this room and prepared for us, this does check out.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. And a bunch of successes and an advantage. So yes, so he'll be up first. The good news is he wasted his triumph on like a relatively benign roll, because nothing has happened yet. Okay, so our order then is Cainhurst, Eli, Morgan, Valentyne, and bring up the rear, dear sweet Attikus.
What about Cora and Kotov?
You remember how I said there's a bunch of Tyranids in the room
Oh,
who are
good. That
only
makes
helping
sense.
combat?
Honestly,
Yay.
Valentine's only orders to Kotov would be hide and don't die. Like that's all he needs from
And like
the
Kotov's
Mechanicus
really
man.
going to take those orders. Like he's going to just be gold blooming somewhere and just get shot in the beautiful low neck, V-neck chest. Okay, so at the beginning of the encounter, we have to take a roll out of order here, and I'm going to take some some Calvin ball on this, I think, because we'll need to. Cainhurst is mighty and horrific, and before you were talking to him through like comms and things, actually being in the presence of this monstrosity is overwhelmingly horrifying. There's one thing to like see the horrors of the warp, where it's like chaos energies have twisted something. There's nothing to see the Xenos that are just like a creature that is unfathomable to your mind. Cainhurst is somehow worse than both of those things because he actively did this to himself. So there are obviously sects of chaos that have done horrible things to themselves. It's in that ballpark where it's like, oh no, this wasn't just like you went through cosmic rays and now one of you can stretch and one of you is made of stone and one of you turns invisible and one of you is on fire. That's quaint. It's like, I stood in those for a long time and now look at me. Ain't I a beauty? So I need a hard discipline check. So that'll be 3 red. As an out of turn incidental. Yeah, it is hard. You're up against a nemesis. This is a boss fight, my friends. You know those gloves I've been wearing? They are most assuredly off. So yeah. Give me that. Now, I will take some. I'll give you some assistance on this one for based on who you are, Valentyne. I would very happily take the argument that you're like being an Inquisitor and having kind of done the training. I think can easily grant you a boost. Okay, just for like being combat hardened and somewhat expectant of these things. Eli, I'm going to give you a boost because you know from Tyranids, and I think weirdly there's actually something somewhat comforting about this particular monster because unlike what I just described, Tyranids are somehow worse than this. This is still just a guy, and like guys you can punch real hard.
Yeah.
Attikus and Morgan. Morgan, I feel like I don't have anything for you. Toby's out of order. You're sniping with a gun you're pretty sure won't hurt him. And stuff. Attikus. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe a boost for just like stalwart devotion. Like, I feel like
I was going to say, he has been ordered to charge this.
I was going to say
so
the bigger fear for you is that Valentyne dies, I think. And like that might be enough to kind of temper your will.
Shake me.
Admittedly, these are
do you want me to
single
kick the boost
boosts.
in or no?
It's a gentle breeze across this difficulty roll, but
Yeah.
Do you want the boost in then, or are you saying?
Yeah, boost for Attikus. Yeah.
Tom, normally I can remove 1 black die that affects fear checks. Obviously, there are no setback die on this. Would we say I could downgrade one of the red to a purple to balance
I'll
that
buy
out?
that.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll buy that. I'll take that action.
Good God.
And then I will use a story point to upgrade Valentyne because this is actually what he does professionally. This is a heretic who is fucking around, and his Ordo, there's a little bit of blend between Xenos, but Korra's here to represent them. He's here to serve his ultimate purpose, which is to stop this magnificent piece of shit.
Right, so that brings us to 3 and 2. You do have a lot of story points kicking around. You will need them.
Ooh.
Cool. All right. If no one's taking me up on those three story points, dope. Let's roll some dice.
Okay.
Attikus got 2 successes, 3 advantage.
Valentyne, 2 success, 2 advantage.
Okay.
Holy, I didn't think there was any way of me surviving this at all. I got 1 advantage.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
Guys, I got like
And-
the worst thing ever.
Eli
got
naturally
one-
doing great.
1 failure, 1 threat, and 1 despair.
Oh,
A little
Eli,
bit of
no.
everything bad.
Well,
3
it's
fucking
okay.
reds, man, come on!
It's not an
Fudge.
important fight. You're probably fine. Okay, so unfortunately, with your despair, Eli, you are staggered. You gain the staggered effect, which means you cannot perform actions. Most effects that stagger a character last for a set duration. So this is you're staggered until the start of your next turn.
What's a turn?
You know Tyranids. You can handle Tyranids. This is just some guy. But then slowly your brain starts to put together exactly what this man has done, and you can see, some of the faces of your former crewmates amongst the xenobiology, and suddenly Tyranids aren't the scariest thing in the galaxy. Humans are, and that's a rough lesson to learn. That said, the rest of you passed, so you are good. You are all right. You are not immobilized, as would have been the case otherwise, and you're certainly in better shape than Eli. Okay, so top of the round is Cainhurst. So you'd all kind of just like spilled out of the bridge. I assume you're not like in a single file line. Tell me about your kind of like. You don't have time to like run to new positions yet, but I know that you wouldn't just kind of like stumble on out with like, I don't know, Valentyne backing into the room with his eyes closed or anything. So what's the combat order?
Backing into the room with his eyes closed.
Our traditional combat order was Attikus at the front as kind of our shield wedge, with Eli over one shoulder and Korra over the other, with Valentyne, Kotov, and Morgan kind of bringing up the rear. Morgan, I would imagine, as rear guard to also keep the head on the swivel, because that feels very in Morgan's skill set.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Attikus, Eli, Valentyne, Morgan-ish?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Plus buds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep the
buds.
punchy soldiers at the front and the investigators and spies at the back.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I'm no tactician, but I'll buy that action. Okay, fantastic. So with that mighty roar that we spoke of in kind of the last episode, is horrible leathery wings spread wide, and for a moment kind of silhouetted against the admittedly like rough lights that are now like pulsing with the energy that's being blasted through from the Dream of Flight and overloading the engines. He's got just a bit of that like the Monster and Fantasia vibe, where it's just like big and dark and backlit. And then with a massive like rush of the wings, he leaps forward. It is very much like a powered leap rather than flight. He's clearly just using the wings to propel himself forward. You do note that he's there's a joy to this motion. It's almost like a bounding leap, and clearly he's never really gotten to open up on people with any of this. So you can tell there's a bit of pleasant experimentation going on. Okay, so we're gonna go with just coming in on Attikus with just massive scythe talons closing in. What's kind of fucked up is as he gets close, it's like a hand grabs the top of your shield, another one reaches over and kind of like grabs you by the shirt, and the talons come down because there's all the little grasping human arms. They aren't doing any damage or anything, but they're certainly speaking to his intent.
Got it.
He kind of roars into your face. So, what is your defense?
I've got 2 defense for melee.
2 defense against melee. Okay. Got my standard 2 difficulty for attack in melee. And my skills are, yep, okay. So get those guys in. And I'm going to give him a setback for having fun with this. He's not being as efficient as he could be. He's clearly trying out his toys, and the landing from that leaping flying jump is a bit awkward because he's still getting used. He's got his training wings. He's still trying to get a handle on it. All right, so just so you get a sense of what I'm playing with here, so you can determine whether or not you want to spend story points. I've got 2 yellow, 4 green, 2 purple, 3 black.
Let's see how this first hit goes. I'll be the barometer for everyone else to know what they need to do.
Cool. And I'm sorry, I'm actually going to take 2 additional boost from Laura's threats.
Sure.
Bom, bom.
I only had 1 threat.
Oh, okay. Then I'll take 1.
Thank you for clarifying.
Cool.
As the target of this attack, thank you very much.
Tyler,
Let's go.
Did you roll any advantage on your roll?
I rolled 3 advantage, yeah.
Can we throw those in as threat against this attack?
You can throw those in as threat, yeah.
Dope.
I just need to recalculate everything because I already rolled.
Sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay. So we got that. We got give him 2 for your defense, 1 for that. And I'm sorry, how many am I taking from you guys?
I have 3 advantage. Do with that what you will.
So I believe you can buy 1.
Yeah, you can buy 1
Setback.
setback. I think it costs 2 advantage to buy setback. If I'm not
2
mistaken.
of those guys. And I need 2 purple. Okay. Cool. So now I've got 2 yellow, 4 green, 1 blue, 2 purple, 4 black. Swinging at Attikus. All right. That is a shit roll for Cainhurst. So Cainhurst gets 2 successes, 5 advantage. Well, it's not that shit, actually. So
What's shit about that, Tom? Jesus.
That's all right.
Yeah,
It wasn't really worse. We're going to take that as a win, fam. If he
take it.
tells you it was a
you should
bad
have seen
roll,
the first
believe
roll.
him.
The first roll was like 6 success and then a couple of
Yeah, but it wasn't a real roll, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Didn't have it.
Didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen. It was all a bad dream. Okay, so
That's the future Eli was picturing when Eli froze
Yeah.
in panic. Was just what could have happened in a perfect.
yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's just like the end of Twilight, at the end of Breaking Dawn, where Michael Sheen imagines the whole battle and then goes, "Nope, shan't." It's that. That's what
I'd like
happened.
to pitch that like Eli was just starting the crash, like the nightmare crash of his sniff musk addiction. And so distorted everything for a second before he kind of like shook his head.
Oh, that's not what I expected. Oh, we're fine. Okay, so Attikus, that is a total of 10 damage. And you can take your soak from that as you will.
Okay.
What? Oh no! What? No! What?
That leaves 1 damage.
No!
Attikus.
That's the same as being unharmed.
Attikus.
You have soak of 9,
I do, yes.
buddy.
Oh,
that's
okay.
dope.
Jesus Christ!
This is what I'm saying.
I thought you meant you had 1 like wound left. I was like, what the fuck?
No, that's
Okay.
I've added 1 to. We're counting up to 19, so
Yeah,
there we
baby.
go.
here we go. Start marching
we got a
up that
few-
hill.
We got a few to go. All right. And then with my advantage, I'm going to activate critical. I've got critical 4, so off we go to the races. I rolled an 83.
No.
That's high.
We don't like
we like
that.
low numbers, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Shall I just re-roll it?
You
Oh,
sure
no,
it
that's
wasn't-
not a
you
fake number, though.
You sure it
Tom,
wasn't a 38?
I have
Are you
I
sure
have 2
it wasn't a
advantage.
38?
Could I spend that to make you re-roll?
You know what? Fuck it. We'll just say that Cainhurst stabs himself to death, and it's over. The fight's over. You did it. 2 advantage.
The best spend of my
No
advantage
one-
I've
no
ever
one
made.
can predict
yeah.
heresy.
Yeah, it's actually
That's
it's on
effective
page
advantage
121. They say if you have two
Special
advantages
rule.
to spend, big bad evil guys just fucking die. It's actually why the Genesis system was discontinued. They realized it was a gaping hole.
Okay. So
all
I
right.
shouldn't add this 1 damage then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
walk
okay.
away. All right, so you have your 1 damage and you are winded. You cannot voluntarily suffer strain to activate any abilities or gain any additional maneuvers until this critical injury is healed. This is actually a pretty soft one.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
given
We'll
your
take it.
abilities.
We
It
like
depends,
it.
because if you built a character around using strain, like if you were a psyker, you're
Psyker,
fucked.
Oh, I know. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I meant specifically for
Attikus, yeah.
Or it's like Final Fantasy games where you cast silence on like the punchy guy, and it's like, oh
The samurai
no.
or whatever. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
jeez, what's gonna happen? My fucking punchy friend can't cast nothing anymore. So yeah, Attikus, one of the arms just gets under you. Like I think like the shield takes the hit, but the shield then hits you and it knocks the wind out of you. But otherwise you're doing okay.
Nice.
All right, so that's that, and I believe that is it for this round on this enemy. So we're going to turn things over to Eli.
Who I think can't do anything this time.
Can't do nothing. You're
Turn
so
over.
staggered. Morgan,
Oh,
you
well,
watch all of that happen.
oh, great. Morgan would be looking around. For one thing, I think she would probably notice that Eli isn't moving and go up to Eli and be like, Eli, what are you doing? Get moving. Well, he's standing there. All right. So she's gonna use him as a mounted place to put her gun and
He's
put her
perfectly
rifle on
still.
his shoulder and try and take a
Furiosa,
shot
yeah.
from there. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so we'll count that as aiming.
Yes.
So we'll give you a boost.
Yes.
So Cainhurst is engaged to be married, but is engaged in combat. So that's going to make him a bit harder to shoot.
Till death do us
Even if
part.
he's monstrous,
Actually, that's a good point, Del.
there's a lot of Attikus short, monster big.
Yeah, Attikus is only like 2 inches tall. Attikus is a little bean. A little bald, angry bean.
Down here.
Yeah.
His voice changes because he's small.
You just hear like, yes, sir. It's like
Yeah.
at his level. So it's like, yes, sir.
That's right.
You fucking what, mate?
Yeah. Oh, did I forget to mention the entire Vicodin planet was just like, it was like Lilliput. They were just like small people. You guys were the normal size the whole time.
Planet
They were
for
all small.
ants.
He's
no
the
one
most
can drink
popular
here.
act in the flea circus.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm the strong bug. Strong bug act.
It has to be at least 3 times that grimdark. All right. Fantastic. So, yeah, I'll waive that. I think that makes perfect sense. We've been making jokes about how small Attikus is, but also, yeah, Cainhurst is very fucking large. So he's very close. I think Del, we could probably say in terms of range bands, since he's like, you haven't moved at all yet. So
Yeah.
like 2, probably 1, maybe. Let's say 1.
Yeah.
No, 2 seems right. 1 seems like you'd have to put the gun against his head, and that seems like you just
That's
get
true.
stabbed.
You gotta be in engaged range for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So difficulty of 2. However, Cainhurst has the talent Adversary 3, which cranks all those sumbitches up. So the difficulty goes from 2 purple to 2 red.
Good.
And because he's got Adversary 3, normally you would turn 3 red. So I'm going to add an additional purple.
Okay.
Playing fair is fair with Valentine's upgrade downgrade. Yeah, so that's that. You've got your aim for putting it on the shoulder. That's it from my side of things. We're sitting at 3 and 2 in Story Point Town. Is there anything else you add just from your like scope and other weird things?
Yeah. So both, because it's a sniper rifle, it gets a boost automatically because it's accurate. And then because it's a sniper rifle made to the contours of her body, when she aims, it counts as aiming twice. So
Oh,
I get
shit.
2 boosts for aiming.
Nice.
Yep.
And then the other thing is to drop if there was a setback, I drop a setback, but there's not any. So,
Yep.
all right. So I'm just gonna do it straight. We're gonna see where this roll takes us into the darkness. Oh, baby! 2 successes, 2 advantage, 1 triumph.
Yes.
Ooh,
Oh, shit.
that's a spicy meatball.
That is.
There we go.
The nature of the meatball is quite spicy.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Okay, Del. Well, do you have anything you would like to use your triumph for before we get to damage and such?
I don't know what. I don't even in combat. What do I use a triumph for? I'm not even sure.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Del.
What can I do? Let's go to the wheel of triumph.
Let's go to the board. Yeah.
Of spending. You can knock out the target's defense. Don't do that. It doesn't have any. You can ignore it's basically the same as like 3 advantage. So you can ignore environmental effects. When dealing damage, you can disable 1 piece of gear rather than dealing wound or strain. So this can be like hobbling them or disabling their radio, some such. You can gain +1 melee or ranged defense until the end of the active character's next turn. You can force them to drop a melee or ranged weapon, which doesn't really work here because they are the weapon. You can also spend it to upgrade difficulty of his next check, upgrade the ability of any allied character's next check, do something vital such as shooting the controls to the blast door to shut them. Yeah, those are the big spends. Or we can talk narrative things that you'd want to do. Keeping in mind, Toby is still kind of in the wind being jammed. So if you want to fuck with Toby, that's also a possibility.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's the answer then, because that she would be waiting for Toby to get back to be able to like scope out the whole area or to get that communicate through. So if there is a way that in the back of her mind that he comes into range or radar, that she could reconnect with him and try to get him to send out that communicate to the ship, I think that's more important than anything else. This shot is obviously trying to do damage, but also we're trying to just keep him at bay in the meantime.
So I think we'll say that this isn't something you can actively do. It's just something that happens. So as the shot goes off, there's a particularly nasty power surge that just like blows out not just a line of glass up top, some of that stained glass shatters, but also just like blows out some panels. You can smell that horrific electrical fire smell as just a cable ignites, bursting into flame across the top, and it fucks with the jamming gear on the ship.
Yeah.
Momentarily. Okay, great. So let's deal with your damage, please.
Okay. So the damage is 9 and pierce 1.
Okay. Great.
So 11 because of my 2 successes, and then pierce 1. So technically 12.
Yep. Great.
And then I think I'll use my 2 advantage and pass that to Valentyne as a boost.
Cool. Dig that. All right. So yeah, you see Cainhurst's face, the face that is in a lot of ways been the architect of your misery and has now like confirmed truly how kind of deep and dark his machinations were.
Yeah.
And you do what you love doing. You put a bullet through him. But unfortunately, as anticipated, you can hear it crack against some like carapace under stretched flesh. You can tell you've done him some damage, but not a lot.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a kill shot when you don't know where the vital organs are on the massive, horrible Cronenberg monster you're fighting.
Yeah. I think also that Morgan would be hoping that firing off a shot next to Eli's face will get him to move.
Fucking we'll see. Valentyne, a shot from Morgan goes off, hits Cainhurst, who is just like raining scythe blows down on Attikus. A look of glee both on his face and the Carnifex face. It's just like following his motions in a weird, again, slightly disjointed puppet way where it's lagging.
Yep, there's a time for moving away and trying to engage at range. And there is a time when making sure the winged monster stays close to the person with the power fist. And it is the second time. So Valentyne just activates his power sword and looks to it and says, "Well, Sella, it's time to protect your son." And then he just yells, "For the god on the throne!" And he's just going to charge in with his power sword and just take a big old fucking swing at this goddamn monster.
Let's do it. So same deal on my side. 2 red, 1 purple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. I mean, you're just swinging for hurt, so I feel like, and with a power sword, I was going to give you a setback for just like all the limbs in your way, but I feel like the power sword just cuts those, so not too worried about that. It's not like just swinging like an axe or something. I think Eli's chain axe would have
a different time. I've got a boost coming over from Morgan, and I had 2 advantage on my roll, so I'll add another boost to this one.
It's cool. I'm going to spend a story point to jack up the difficulty.
Yeah, so will I. Let's trade some points. That'll be fun.
Cool. Means I don't have to write more numbers and draw a random box around them, which I have done yet again. I have not.
Alrighty, let's see what happens. 4 successes and 2 threat.
Okay.
Yep.
So this will do 14 damage. It also has breach 2. So I don't know how this guy, I don't know what the rules are, Tom. I'll hand that over to you in terms of whether that's pierce or whether this dude's a vehicle. I don't know what the rules are for a Tyranid this big.
Normally I would knock off his defense, but he actually doesn't have any defense. So sadly that will pierce will matter, but breach will not.
Great.
I'm correct that pierce fucks with soak, not defense,
Pierce.
right?
Here's our challenge. This is a weakness we've had in the Genesis system. Pierce directly fucks with soak. Breach is what power fists and power swords have, which affects vehicles. But for some reason in the Genesis rules, they don't have pierce. Which seems crazy. So we've sometimes just said we'll use those as pierce.
You can cut through a tank, but not a person's armor.
Yeah, no, I can actually explain the lack of pierce. It's that he and Dan Harmon got in a fight, so
Here it is.
had to.
There we go.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so okay, no, I'll buy that then, Ryan. If that isn't kicking around, I know we deal with this every 4 episodes, but we just fight so rarely. So yeah, sure, we'll take that as 2.
As 2 pierce? Cool. So that, yeah, so it's 14 with, and then just to add that deal with whatever the soak is.
Yeah. Okay. So, waka. Great. So, yeah, explain to me what this blade strike is. Obviously, he's still up, but
he is just coming in, and it's like while Attikus is getting grabbed, Valentyne is doing the equivalent of a Superman leap to the left of Attikus, just soaring through the air, and the sword is just hacking through the torso. It's just a big one-handed, like leaning in among the arms, sliding it through whatever the equivalent of a rib cage is on this horrifying Cronenberg Tyranid monster.
And how many threat did you roll?
4
threat.
I think I got rid of the roll.
Yeah. So as the blade cuts through, you're just sprayed with blood as you Superman slide through.
Wait, 4 success, 2 threat. That was it. I think
2 threat.
That feel right to everybody?
Yeah,
2
2
threat. Yes.
Great.
That's fine. Still goes off. The blood sprays your face, and immediately you can feel your skin begin to burn as its acidic blood begins to just eat away. So you're going to take 3 damage that ignores soak.
Yep, that makes sense. And Valentyne's grin just grows larger, because if you can hurt an enemy, whatever the cost to you is but a slight price to pay for the Emperor.
Cool. We'll see if you still feel that way when we roll next round to see if it continues to burn your face or not.
That won't affect his religious conviction.
Honestly, fair enough. All right.
The nice
Attikus.
thing is it can't get in his eyes. They're not organic.
Yay.
It's the goggles. They do everything.
Yeah.
All right. Attikus, all of this bullshit has been going on around you.
Oh, me. Oh, my. Is it payback time?
It's 10:33. So maybe. I don't know.
Let's do a big old punch. Attikus taking this blow, as you say, like on his shield, and then really kind of absorbing that, I think, into his torso and getting the wind kind of knocked out of him. Just as like a big like, all right, I see how it is. And he just cranks back and unleashes. So what is... There's no defense, but is it... What's the difficulty on this? It's 2?
2 red, 1 purple.
2 red, 1 purple.
Good.
And I'm going to spend a story point to upgrade
Good God,
one of those
Tom.
purples to a red.
Jesus Christ.
I am also spending a story point.
Great. My box remains unchanged.
Because let
Know
me
what
just
I'm
make
getting
sure I
you for
got
your
this. 1,
birthday.
2, 3. Oh, 2. Okay.
A story point.
Because this man sought to improve himself with heretical Xenos means. And I am the embodiment of the true way to improve yourself. The true way that is through faith in the Emperor and using the tools that he bestows upon you. So, yeah, one of these goes yellow. Remove, and then another yellow. Okay. All right. Ready to go?
Yeah.
Pinch, punch.
think
Captain
so.
Crunch. Okay. That all shakes out to a triumph and 2 advantages.
Oh,
Interesting.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll take the triumph as a success as well. So you get your damage +1, and then you can tell me what you want to do with your combat triumph.
Damage +1 is just double checking. Damage +1 is 18. That is breach 2.
Okay.
Ooh. Where are my different terms? Oh, look at that. Knockdown requires 2 advantage. So let's spend that to knock this dude on his ass.
Yes!
I clock him in one of his chins, and just his legs, however many of them there may be, buckle, and he just rolls over.
Great. I'm imagining this punch as the Scott Pilgrim punch, where it's just like, like anime lines fly out as just slam him. It is alarming that, knocking him on his ass, really, he's still taller than all of you. And I mean,
Right.
Attikus, I know that's not saying much for you, but for everyone else, he's a big boy. It's very much like a Dark Souls boss knockover, where it's like, cool, oh shit, you're still
He's back. He's back
flaily.
up.
You're a bit big and flaily. All right, I'm just gonna look up the rules for knockdown here because it's been a hot sec.
Just imagine Atticus like jumping over, like to see us on the other side of him.
What's all this then?
Yeah. Did I get him?
So the mighty thump, he goes down, and almost with a laugh, but like one jaw is just like hanging, fucking broken and wrecked.
Right.
And he just says, "Well, hey, that packs quite a punch there. That's pretty good. Maybe I should add that on. You're normally I stick to flesh, but hey, a good idea is a good idea." Top of the round, Cainhurst. He's not kidding about that. He wants that arm. So being kind of lower, he locks eyes with you, and his jaws open, and he just lurches forward in an attempt to bite your head off.
Just gobble me up.
Yeah.
I am bite-sized.
Yeah, just the Quibi of heroes,
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your defense?
Quibicus.
Defense, if this is, I'm assuming melee is 2.
Yes, very much.
Yeah.
2?
2. Yeah.
Great. We got 2 purple. We've got same as before.
I don't like this.
Nor should you. I
don't
get
like it at
a setback for being on my ass. And I think that's it for me. I'm going to spend a story point to upgrade one of my dice, though.
Wait,
So I've
we
currently got...
also-
Sorry, Del, you spending?
please.
Just gonna remain locked in,
Which is
in
just
Mortal Kombat.
Morgan still firing off of the shoulder,
Yeah.
just from the back.
Yeah.
I got you cover fire. So many bullets.
All right. So I've got 3 yellow, 3 green, 1 red, 1 purple, 3 black.
Wow. Well, all right. Gobble, gobble.
That's a bit fucked up, is what that result is. I get
6
2
triumphs.
success and 3 threat.
Oh.
So for the success, that is 12 damage,
Okay.
and it is pierce 3.
Okay. Can I use the threat that you incurred?
You certainly can, yes.
My armor is spiked, and so you take 6 damage.
Fucking A. Does that ignore soak?
I believe so. I didn't specify in my notes. Use 3 threat or despair on enemy melee roll to inflict 6 damage is how I have it written.
Okay.
It may not ignore soak because it's traditional damage from the armor, but
Yeah.
up to the GM's discretion.
Yeah, I know on my Bernie blood, it specifically says that the acid blood goes through. So we're going to say he, bites into spikes, too much face, sadly ignores the damage.
Can I get that math one more time on the damage and the pierce and things like that?
Absolutely. So it's 12 damage.
Okay.
It is pierce 3.
Okay.
It is also vicious 3, which I don't think
That's
matters
6
here
damage,
because I
right?
didn't cause a critical.
But yeah, vicious only matters on crits. So it's functionally 15 minus your soak, Tyler.
Got it. I am at 7 wounds.
Blah.
Yeah.
So just like teeth bite in, and just by gritting your teeth and squaring your jaw, you hold fast, but the teeth are kind of tearing trenches into the sides of your face, just cutting through the mutton chop. The glasses crack under the pressure, but are still usable as he tries to just straight up crack your sweet head off. Yeah, so that's him. Moves to Eli. A rousing shot next to your ear wakes you from your stupor.
That wakes him the fuck up. And just seeing what's happening, I mean, he's still on the ground, right? Kind of, or kind of sitting up, whatever, attacking Attikus. Well, I mean, good enough chance to just slash into that lovely little neck that is extended towards Attikus. And
Cool.
hopefully, undo the biting.
Fair enough. Yep, that's a reasonable
I know
thing
if
to
I
do.
were to get hit with a chain axe in the back of the neck and I was biting something, I'd probably let it go. So I just assume this guy would too.
Well, it might be projecting, but let's find out. Okay, so same deal as before, 2 red, 1 purple.
Gross.
Yep. You get a setback for the many grasping arms, which unfortunately will fuck with your chain axe.
Okay.
You get a boost for him being prone.
1 second. I just want to double check I have this right so far.
Sure.
Melee light. Yes. Okay. Okay. I've got that boost in then.
And I'm going to give you an additional boost for the spiked armor that Attikus spent last round. So it didn't cause any damage, but the fact that he bit into something spiky is distracting and keeping him kind of more stationary.
Okay.
And I'm going to spend a story point.
All right.
Keep this wagon train going.
I'm going to spend one too.
All right. Mortal Kombat.
So what is our story point total right now, Tom? Just so my brain's tracking.
3 and 2 in
Cool.
your favor.
Cool.
I crossed out my previous 3 and 2 in a box and drew 3 and 2 above it and put a new box.
Very good.
That's an improvement, man.
Yeah, I tell you.
Good for you.
Operationalizing things. 10x.
Is he holding any weapons? He's just using himself, right? Just like
Holding's
hands.
a strong term. Yeah, no, he
It's
is
just
the
like
weapon.
his teeth, claws.
Now, I will say I will buy a disarm argument if you want to make it, with the understanding that it's like breaking a scythe and then another one just like comes in to replace it. But it can. He has 3 separate attacks he can make, and whichever one you quote disarm or disable, I just won't choose from next round.
Okay. Yeah. No, I have to like basically do an additional melee check.
I see.
To force. That's what it says. While armed with a melee light weapon, make an average melee light check. If successful, can force an engaged target to drop weapon. So I think that's in addition.
Yeah.
To this, so I'd have to do this check first, anyways.
Yeah.
To see if I even fucking.
Or
okay,
well, wait a second. No, sorry. It says do a melee light.
Yeah.
So I think that's just your attack. Like if your attack is successful, you can force. I don't know. How do we feel about that, folks?
What rule is this, Laura?
Martial weapon master.
Oh, yeah. So this is a different kind of attack, which is you can attack the weapon instead of the person. It's an active choice where you're like, are you as a martial weapon master being like, I'm going to disarm this motherfucker, or are you going to hack the guy?
That makes more sense.
Which is why it's easier to do the disarm in this case.
Nah, fuck that. Okay. No. I'm just no.
The pain.
No. Yeah, get him right in the fucking neck, because this guy's gotta die. I'm rolling.
If only it had said dishead, though. Am I right?
Yeah.
That was one of the expansion books.
Okay. I have a despair, but I also have 8 advantages.
Interesting.
So let me just see if there's anything I can do with advantages, even if I don't hit. I know I can't. I don't believe I can. Fuck.
It sounds like you probably hand over a lot of boosts to somebody else.
Yeah.
It's hand over is a kind term. It actually sounds to me more like a bequeathment in a will, just.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Valentyne will greatly appreciate your 4 boosts that you've given to the Emperor. Balance out his melting face.
Yeah. That's a lot of fucking advantage, man. Despite that goddamn despair. Fuck, Tom. Why so many red?
You know the answer. I'm not going to dignify it with a response.
I mean, 3 advantage can force the target to drop a melee or ranged weapon. Can I force him to drop Attikus?
Oh.
You know what? Yeah, I'll buy that. That makes sense.
Can I use my 8?
Yeah. You can use your 8 to make him untooth Attikus. I think that does seem fair.
Cool. Didn't do any damage, but I did, I don't know.
Oh.
Startle him?
Oh, I think you've done some damage.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Just get on with it.
Sure.
Get on with it. I'm stressed out.
Great. Here's what happens with the despair.
This episode of the Valentyne Heresy features Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter as Inquisitor Lucius Valentyne, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter as Attikus Viz, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter as Eli Sharp, Del Borovic at Deltastic on Twitter as Morgan Rawls, and our Game Master Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and the Valentyne Heresy's artwork was created by Del Borovic at delborovic.com, DELBOROVIC. Our theme song is The Hordes by Megan McDuffie, and our ads use the tracks No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. We have merchandise available at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, and most importantly, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. Ave Imperator, and death to all the heretics.
Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time. The Half-Blind Prophet, Christopher Little, Sue One, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Roman Brown, Spot Allen, Flynn 1138, Alarain Okapi, OMG, it's Big Nick. D&D and Things, Norma Byers. Schrodinger's Pepper, Guy Edwards, Flea Unit, Madre de Gatos. Lady Maiden, Melissa Rain. Nithrian, Garbo Ape. Locke, Sam Schaefer, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumbdumbdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.